gonna laugh. I might cry and I'm gonna wanna tell you why, because hey, well that's just life. So do-do-do, do-do-do-do, 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 do-do you, and I will do me. Ew. Okay, for real.
Hi world, it's Jenguin. First of all, I want to say welcome to anyone who is new, who may be here from my episode on We're All Insane podcast with Devorah. For those of you who are a loyal listener of my podcast, if you didn't know, I was a guest on another podcast where people come from all over the country and all over the world to just tell their stories, their life stories, a lot about their traumatic events, their childhood upbringings. You know, people are in prison, people struggle with abuse, people from all walks of life, and they just go on there and they are real and raw and super deep, and she just kind of lets them take the reins, and it's a really great podcast. I've listened to it for some time now. So for those of you who are coming from Dev's podcast, I forgot to mention in my episode how I found her. And I want to touch on that a little bit here, but basically the point of this episode on my podcast that I'm doing is because I'm nervous now talking about it. She just told me recently that my podcast is going to be airing on Sunday, I want to say it's like October 11th or something. And she was like, hey, I'm just letting you know that we're going to post the episode. Like, do you have any website links or social media thing that you want us to share? And I was like, oh my gosh, I did not think it was going to be shared that quickly. And for weeks since I have recorded that episode, it has been bothering me so bad how much I left out, how much I forgot to touch on in that episode that revolved around the main topic that I wanted to cover, which was surviving divorce and infidelity. And I was so nervous on that episode. I live my life pretty much on camera. I am so open and raw and vulnerable all over the internet, but something about meeting someone that's like basically a celebrity in your mind, you know, it just makes you nervous. So like you're being not interviewed, because she doesn't really ask interview questions, but you're just in a different setting with someone that you've never met, that you've been watching online for all this time. It was so nerve-wracking, and it took a while for my voice to stop shaking and stuff on my episode. And so I've been thinking about everything that I covered, and I was like, oh my God, I talked so much about like my childhood and my past and how I met John and everything. And by the time I got to the portion that was supposed to be talking more about like my SUV life adventures and traveling and being homeless and going through the actual divorce process and grieving that relationship, I feel like I was so rushed, and that was my own fault. We talked for like over 4 hours, so I have no clue how much she's going to edit out of there and things like that, but she would have probably let me talk longer than what I did, and I felt so bad because I was like, we've been here all day, and her dog has to pee, and her cats have to pee, and so I left so much out, and I just wanted to dive into a little bit more on the whole point that I reached out to Dev to be on her podcast. I was so honored that they even let people like have a forum online to fill out, to submit their story, and the fact that they read it and they took the time and they reached out and they wanted me on there. She wanted me to share my experience. Was such an honor, and I loved meeting her. She was really sweet, and honestly I think we could be great friends, but I'm not gonna stalk her. So normally on my podcast, I like to start with the worst parts of my day or my week and overcome the negative with 2 positives that have happened to me. So I'm not going to dive too far into that because I just want to get into the point of this episode. But if you are interested in hearing other types of stories and situations and real life topics with real people, that's what my episodes revolve around. But I like to put a little humorous twist to them. My structure is a little bit more, I try to be a little bit more fun and lighthearted, and I play games and things like that. So if you want something similar to what Dev does, but more revolving experiences that I've been personally put through and with a little bit of a lighthearted twist, well, then welcome. You can listen to all of the drama unfold on my other episodes here. But the way I found her was when I started my SUV life travels. As I mentioned on her episode, I really, really sunk into a very dark hole. It was like a pit of hell for me. And it's funny because I didn't get very emotional on her episode, but I get emotional on my podcast. I'm about to cry right now. So I'm gonna try and contain that. But it was absolutely, I know a lot of you guys can relate to it being the worst time of my life. Of all of the trauma that I have been through since I was a little girl, a lot of which I touched on over there, what I went through with my husband was by far the worst trauma I've ever experienced. Like, to say that after being assaulted by a cop, being molested as a child, being in a very abusive, I didn't touch on this very much, but my household would involved a lot of domestic violence, and friends mistreating me and using me and losing those friends and stuff like that. All of the trauma I've ever experienced in my life, this was the worst. It was worse than that because I lived my whole life with the domestic violence, with the sexual abuse, with all these things. And since I am so open and vulnerable, and I really like to hone in on my mental health, I feel like I know how to cope with those things now in my own way. And honestly, a biggest part of my healing journey has been things like this platform, this podcast. For some reason, talking to my phone, aka you guys, and having these people just love and support me online in these parasocial relationships. If you want to learn about parasocial relationships, I have an episode on that. That is like therapy to me. It does so much better for my mental health than going to an actual therapist was. Another thing I didn't cover in her episode was my journey through all of that, actually getting onto medication for depression, anxiety, and seeing a therapist for the first time in my life. If you want to hear more about that, I have an episode called Mental Illness. Very punny, I know. But I talk more about where I was at and how I got into this whole journey of getting onto meds, which I'm not really taking anymore. Like I'm able to kind of anchor myself a little bit and regulate myself a little bit better these days. But I didn't even mention that over there. It was the worst trauma. There's so much that I didn't even share on that episode. So again, you'll learn a lot more about me here. But I had my podcast for a couple years already, and I wasn't even doing that, to just cope, and I wasn't using that outlet anymore. So I kind of was all over the place on the road and doing episodes here, sporadically there, and eventually I did not have the strength in me to do that anymore. I didn't want to be funny or entertaining. I wasn't really making TikTok videos and things like that for a while because I didn't want to put makeup on. I could not function like a human being. I could not get out of bed. I didn't want to brush my teeth. I didn't eat. Like I said, I lost so much weight. My friends were all like, Jenny, you look good, but also you're a stick. You also look really bad. You look very sickly and unhealthy. If you have ever experienced like extreme depression, you know where I'm coming from. If you haven't experienced depression in that way, it is one of those situations, much like being cheated on, that you do not understand until you've experienced it. I have so much more like space in my heart for people who have been cheated on, going through divorce, and who struggle with depression and anxiety in ways that I have not experienced, because now I have this mental picture of like what it was for me in my situation and how bad it was and how much I did not want to live and be on this earth, that I cannot judge anybody for their decisions, for their decisions that they do with their life and with their body, and how they cope, and honestly how they even treat people while going through terrible situations. Like, until you've been there, you don't truly know. So a lot of my episode, I did want to talk about how people can maybe have space for others in their life who are going through things. I think it's important to be able to show up in your loved ones' lives without judgment and with a little bit of empathy and sympathy, compassion for them, because everybody's experiencing a different journey, and something that would make me depressed wouldn't make someone else depressed necessarily. And you just never know what somebody's going through. And I know it's so cliche, we hear it all the time, but it has never been more real for me, that cliche saying, in my life until now. So I had stopped podcasting and stuff like that for a while, and I'm the type of person, I've mentioned on my episodes many times, that I don't drive with music on. I'm a psycho. I don't have music playing really when I'm doing projects at home or anything. I just took out my AirPods because all day long I'm listening to podcasts. And the ones that I was listening to throughout this time, like, I had already gone through all of the episodes, and I had no other content to like consume, which is probably not healthy. It's not the best coping mechanism, and I do need to get better with that. But that's just what I do. Like, all day long, I listen to podcasts. I was just on a walk with my dog, and I had one in my ear, and I'm like, dude, it's good for me because I need that like constant like sound of someone speaking to me so I don't feel alone. But it's also overstimulating at the same time. So I was about to turn the podcast off on my walk, and I was going to call my friend right away. I was like, what is wrong with me? I literally cannot stop just having something playing in my ears. And honestly, I wish I just did listen more to music. But I think that music a lot of times, which is weird because I'm a musician, but music can overstimulate me more. I think it's just like the drums, and your playlist is like all over the place, or whatever the case may be. I don't know why music is just like not my go-to anymore, but also music hurts me so much more than it ever did. Every single song I have ever listened to in the past 3 years of my life, completely different experience from what it ever was. At one point in time, Forever by Chris Brown was my favorite song, and I listened to Forever and I'm like, dude, it hits me so different, or it numbs me, or it makes me sad, or these love songs that once were just like, oh my gosh, this is my life and my fairy tale and my dream. These love songs just like don't do that to me anymore. It pisses me off. And breakup songs, like even ones like from Kesha and Lady Gaga, they're like these fun dance songs, but it really is like breakup lyrics. Those, I find myself not even dancing to them anymore. I'm just listening to the words. I'm like, dude, how did I never freaking realize that this song is what it is? And it just hits me in a completely different way. So music is just like not my out. So at some point I was scrolling, and I don't know how exactly I found her episode, if I was like searching something else or whatever, but I think I just saw the title on her video on YouTube, and it said "We're All Insane." I was like, oh, this sounds relatable. So I clicked on her YouTube channel, and dude, I've listened to every single episode, and it has not been very long that I've been listening to her, but I deep dived. And then that's when I realized, like, oh, she accepts guests on her channel, and it just like, it is so true what she says on her episodes, that it doesn't matter if their story is so completely different and their lives are polar opposite of yours and the traumatic experiences are nothing like what yours have ever been. At some point in those episodes, you are going to relate to something and you're like, dude, I literally thought I was the only one. How the hell is it that like this experience is so different from anything I've ever experienced? Like the core takeaway from that story was like what my core takeaway to my story was. It's so strange. So in a way, Dev's podcast really like saved me and kept me company in my ears for months and months and months. So going back to my episode, I have just been beating myself up because I touched so much on my early life years that I forgot so much. There's just so many things that I missed out on talking about. It's funny because I've been wanting to make this episode for a while for people who may possibly merge over here. And I wanted to say hi and welcome, and you're not alone, and don't forget to love yourself, and just give you guys maybe another thing to listen to because you're the same way and you need to play podcasts in your ears all day long, or maybe you need a laugh, or whatever the case may be. Whatever brought you here, it's for a reason. And if you have been through something similar to what I experienced, my heart breaks for you. I am so sorry. It is one of the worst feelings in the entire world. I don't wish it upon anyone except for Carrie and Marissa and John, honestly. It's just like, oh my God, I really don't like wish that on anyone, but there's a part of you like, ew, for real, we're going to keep it real here. Like, a part of you just wants so badly for those people who have wronged you to experience what you're going through, because like, yeah, bitch, I fucking told you, stay away from my man, because you're inserting yourself in someone else's relationship and you don't know what it's like until you've been through it. So like, part of me, the toxicity in me, the Latina in me, just wants them to suffer the way I have suffered. And to be honest, that's not realistic. I can't just go around just like waiting and hoping and wishing and praying for someone to cheat on these people so that they realize what they did to me. It doesn't matter. They don't care what they did to me. They're living their lives. They're moving on. And we just have to freaking suck it up. And some of us are just dealt bad cards in life and are here on earth to make a difference in some way, live life, enjoy it to the fullest, but take the punches, and we're just dealt more traumatic cards. And I don't know if I mentioned on her podcast, but like, I have been told so many times, like, you're so strong and it's making you resilient and you're tougher because I don't give a crap. I know I've said on my podcast before, I'm tired of being strong. I don't want to be strong anymore. Dear God, whoever the hell it is that you worship, that's enough. I've learned my lesson. Can we just get to the good? Can we get to the good part? What's that song? Is that a song? What is it? Let's get to the good part. Is that it? I don't know. There's a song. I know there's a song. But I guess this is just the part of my journey where I am supposed to be creative and find myself more. And I'm really trying to hone in and focus on my business and my creative outlets. And I'm actually sitting right now in, if you've noticed, I have paint all over my sweatpants. I'm in my painting pants and bundled up in this sweater because I'm at a house right now in Pennsylvania of a new client that has hired me to redesign their space. So they wanted it very minimalistic, very clean, kind of modern, black and white. She's like not a fan of colors really. So that's why there's like very plain, simple style around me. I'm working on it. We're getting there. But I went to take a bath because she's letting me stay here while I'm redesigning her space. I went to take a bath and she wants me to turn the water off every time a guest leaves once I have the Airbnb up and running. And did I say that? She wanted me to design her house to be an Airbnb. So I'm managing and designing many, many Airbnbs at this point. But this is a new one. And she was like, I turned the water off. So you have to turn it on if you're going to use it and stay there. So I turned the water on and the water like gets warm, I guess. But I went to take a bath last night and I was like, this is freezing. It's not working. So I got out. And then today I went to go take a shower and I was like, I just really want a bath. The house that I'm in does not have a bathtub. It's a freaking stand-up shower. And all I wanted is just to to take a hot, cozy bath. And so I started getting in there and I'm like, this is miserably cold. Like, what the hell? So I started looking up videos on YouTube of how to adjust the temperature of your water heater. And you got to take off panels and turn off the power and take the insulation out and all these things and knobs and doohickeys that I didn't feel like dealing with. So I didn't do it, but I was so desperate. I went downstairs and I was like, I'm gonna fucking turn the heat up on this water heater. And then I realized, oh wait, I think she texted me another picture. So I went back to her text messages, and not only did she send me a picture of the lever to turn the water on, but she sent me a picture of the breaker box that was like, turn water heater on. I was like, I'm so freaking dumb. I was literally screaming in the shower. I was like, nobody's going to want to stay here. We're not going to make any money. Nobody's going to want to rent this Airbnb because this water is freezing fucking cold. So all I had to do was turn the water heater on. So I'm kind of cozy. I'm like freezing now. So I'm waiting to get in the shower. But I'm sitting here in this house, and I wanted to take the time to make this episode because I don't know how much I'm going to dive into it on this episode, but I really want to answer your questions. If you guys have anything that you're like curious to know, or, you know, parts of the story where there were holes in it, if there was anything that you wanted me to cover, I would love to have a conversation with you and answer those questions. So please leave a comment below. If you leave any comments on Dev's episode, I'm going to go back and read those too and address those in a future episode. But while I was fixing up this Airbnb, I took a break for a minute to eat, and I started scrolling on one of those Facebook pages that I mentioned on her episode. I had joined some Facebook pages because I was looking for like grief groups. Is that a word? That's actually how I found Dev, because I was grieving so badly, and I was like, dude, I'm grieving somebody who's still alive, but this is grief. I know that this feeling that I'm feeling is the most deepest, immense grief, and I was looking for a grief group to just relate to other people on, and that's eventually I started scrolling and I found her somehow. It led from scrolling on Facebook to ended up on YouTube. I was looking for support groups. But I'm actually still part of those groups, even though I'm no longer a wife who stayed. I'm now divorced from him, you know, but I just never left the group. And I like to read, you know, some of the pages and things like that, the posts that people make on there. And I give, you know, advice from my perspective if anyone is ever asking for help and things like that. And I came across... this one might have actually been like a dating group because I'm new to the dating scene. And it was a girl looking for advice because how am I gonna, I have a screenshot of this on my phone. I'm gonna share the screenshots on my phone. So if those of you who are watching the video version of this podcast, you can see the screenshots. And I was flabbergasted, absolutely flabbergasted at what this person was posting and the comment section on this post. Right now, I'm going to insert that photo of the screenshot of the post that I saw. Okay, here we go. The post reads, "Can I get some advice? I've been seeing a man a few years older than me. Parentheses, this is my first relationship post-divorce. He doesn't plan dates, still married, and he will, quote-unquote, take care of it later. He's nice and everything, compliments me, makes me feel emotionally secure, but I feel like the only thing he wants is sex." Dear God. Get it together, Jenny. I'm fuming. "We hung out last week and he was teasing me by saying, well, quote unquote, since someone won't give me none, parentheses, sexual. I really like him, but our only hangouts end sexually. No dates, nothing, simple as getting fast food together. I asked him today, when does he plan to get divorced? And he said it's the last thing on his mind because of his busy schedule. Maybe I'm looking too far into it, but that seemed like a red flag to me. He plays so much video games, he barely calls me 2 to 3 times a week. Would this concern you guys? I just want romance and transparency. LOL. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my God. Like, honestly, right now, Jenny in editing, my jaw is on the floor and my eyes are sideways. I hope there's someone listening who is going through this and is this person in the situation and doesn't realize what they're doing, and hearing somebody else type these sentences out, asking for the advice on the stupidity of a situation, and realizes, dang, I look dumb. Let me stop. Like, do you realize how stupid all of that sounds? Oh my God, I literally could not believe my earballs. So, of course, I weaseled my way on over to the comment section. They read as follows. I'd be out of there. He's shown you where you fall on his list of priorities, and it doesn't sound like that's where you want to be. Next comment. You're the side chick. Please be alone for a while and go work on your self-esteem and find peace. You tell her, Yvette. Not me sharing her name. Go off, queen. Next comment. Doesn't sound like you guys are on the same page. Next comment. My husband was separated when I met him, but he did take me out. I can't with her already. I went to every event with him, friend or family events. We moved in together in 2 weeks. What? Ew, I didn't read that part before. I know that most people today would tell me don't do it, but in my case, it worked. He didn't get divorced right away, but I didn't care because I didn't really care if we got married. Oh, pause. Oh my God, they disgust me. This is atrocious. I don't care. Like I said on Dev's episode, if you're separated or not, the man is married. He is not divorced. You don't know if he's lying. There's someone on the other side. Why are you involving yourself with this situation? She literally just said, but I didn't care. Ew, you're a trash person. I'm sorry. That is my opinion, and I stand by it. So we lived together for a while. He did get divorced, and we got married, and it all worked out for 17 years till he died. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. She typed it, not me. Okay. I'm so sorry to be laughing. This is so dramatic. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to laugh at somebody dying, but it sounds like karma to me. Look where cheating got him. Literal death. Wow, that took a turn. Okay, she continues. Even if a guy is separated, they can want a real relationship. Some married people are very unhappy for years before they finally split, so every case is different. But this guy, from what you have said, is not treating you very well. Okay, Shannon. Of course, that's her name. She should not be giving people advice. This is terrible advice. The guy literally died. Most people would say don't do it. Actually, no. Most women that I know would give this kind of stupid advice. Some of us have morals, but I cannot believe some people are very unhappy for years. Yeah, so get divorced, finalize it before you date, because you shouldn't be dating until way after you're married anyway, so that you can work on yourself. It's literally been years for me, and I'm still not okay. I still shouldn't be dating. What is wrong with these people? Ugh, next, I have to move on. Quote unquote, we'll take care of it later, ... I'm definitely side-eyeing that a bit. Yeah, same. Someone else said, he's just cheating, ... I'll take care of it later. Like an errand, ? Okay, at least these girls seem kind of normal. Someone else says, no, you deserve much more than what he is giving. Took me a long time to learn this. Actions, not words. I'd be out. How do you know she deserves more? She's literally cheating with someone's husband. Next comment. You are not a priority. He doesn't even take you out on dates. He is telling you it's not going to change. Believe him, ... Hold your head up high and bounce. Heart emoji. Like, I don't know. I guess. I just think it's weird how supportive they're being in the situation that she's literally sleeping with somebody's husband. He doesn't take you out on dates. Yeah, he shouldn't be. She doesn't deserve a date with this married man. This makes no sense to me. I guess from my perspective, it's because I'm assuming, and I'm 99.9% sure what he's doing is he's lying to this person. He's not getting divorced. His wife doesn't know what's going on. He's literally a liar. He has no intentions of even filing for a divorce because he's too busy playing video games. Like, he's literally lying. And it's so blatant and it's so dumb that people can't see it. Next comment. It doesn't even sound like y'all are dating. I would find someone who is available and who wants to spend time with you. Yeah, like maybe not someone's husband. Next comment. That would be a no for me. Next. Thank you, Stacy. She's got it going on. Next comment. Are you sure he's really not with his ex? Because that's giving major red flags. Thank you. Somebody finally thinking. Next comment. You deserve much better than this. How do you know, Marianne? How do you know, Marianne Elizabeth, that she deserves better? Oh, she knows full well what she's doing. This is what flabbers my gastids. Send this man back to his wife. Yeah, please. And y'all, I know you guys are internet sleuths. Find the wife and tell her what he's doing, please. Next comment. This is 100% no way for me. Thank you, Kathy. Next comment. As a person who didn't know what red flags were with her first relationship post-divorce, I can tell you he is flying the highest red flag right now. Remove yourself and get out now. You will regret it later if you don't break this off. Thank you. Yes. Next comment. Time to raise your standards. Next comment. You want romance and transparency? ? From a man who's cheating on his wife with you? ? And I responded, absolutely ridiculous. Nobody else liked her comment but me. Ariana is literally the best. If you're watching the screen, you know what that means. She was the first person to straight out mention that she's with somebody who's cheating on his wife with her. Like, that's wild to me. The fact that no one else even liked her comment and they're liking other people's comments about how she deserves so much better is so crazy. Next comment. He sounds terrible, like my ex. Next comment. Well, we know why he's getting divorced. 7 ha-has and likes on that comment. Then finally, someone chimed in with a, yeah, who knows if he's even telling the truth about getting divorced. Oh, he's not. And then the person who made this post, who's anonymous, said, quote unquote, mutual decision. As a divorcee, I don't buy it. Yeah. Okay, then why are you with him and asking for advice on the situation, anonymous member? Next comment. Girl, I'd be out. Life and time are too precious to waste with someone who isn't over the moon for you. You can do bad all by yourself. Know what I mean? Okay. These people are weird. Next. If you have to question it, you know your answer. True. Next comment. Run and never look back. Kissy face. She should have ran the second she heard that the man was married. Stephanie just wants to know his initials. She's probably also sleeping with him. Can't. Next comment. If you are not happy with the situation and you need to cut ties and walk away. ... She worded that wrong. If you keep allowing this behavior, it's never going to change. Whatever, Kathy. Next. Of course that's all he wants. He's married. Yeah, exactly. It only ends with sex. It seems like he only wants sex. Can't. Next comment. He's keeping you as a hookup and hoping you don't pick up on it. Do what you will with that info. No, not do what you will. Tell her what to do with it. Shove it up her ass and tell the wife. Next person. Sounds like you figured it out. If the sex is great, accept it for what it is. Ew, Laura? If the sex is great, accept it for what it is. These people are disgusting, but sounds like you want more. Not worth the drama. Are these people real? These can't be real people. They're not. And finally, Samantha chimes in with, get out, period, run, period. This is a terrible situation for you to be in. Plain and simple. And then, of course, you know my long-winded ass chimed in and I left a big-ass comment, but I don't feel like reading it on here, and I'm sure you can assume what I said. And I was much nicer than what I wanted to be, what I should have been, and how I have even been sounding on this podcast. But I told her the truth and gave her my opinion from my perspective, and she did end up responding with, which I didn't screenshot it here, but she did leave a comment that said, I learned my lesson. I think she said I learned my lesson the hard way or something like that. And I was like, okay, good. Thank God. Like, now just take what you've learned and help someone else and grow from this or something stupid like that. Oh, and I forgot. Also, there's another comment that says, ... what is it that you see in this person? Nothing about this sounds positive or enjoyable for you. It doesn't need to be positive or enjoyable for you if you're sleeping with a married man. But yes, I see what you're saying, Nicole. I hope this person grows and learns and does better and doesn't ever do this again. And when comes across another man with a ring on his finger or not, and he's saying he's married, that she says, "Ew, get away from me," spills her drink on him and walks away. There's literally no other solution to that situation. The problem is that these men keep doing this and getting away with it, and they don't learn, and their egos are just being boosted when they don't deserve for their egos to be boosted. They probably don't deserve, no, they definitely don't deserve their wife, because it's very rarely, almost never, that I see someone cheat better. They usually stoop lower than what they've already got, and he's probably not even cute. Most of the time, these mofos are ugly as hell, and they're just trying to get an ego boost. So stop boosting their ego. So I read this and I was like, what is wrong with people? Why is this even a question? I was embarrassed for her. The secondhand embarrassment was so strong. Does his wife know that he wants a divorce? Is his wife aware that he is dating people and on dating apps or whatever the case may be, and that he is telling people that he's in the process of being divorced? Is he even separated? Flabbergasted. Why is this girl seeing this man? And so I know that there may be people out there who have been through this, and on your end, you are the other woman. You're the side piece, you're the side chick, whatever. You're the affair partner. You might be watching this and you might feel guilty. You might not feel guilty. You might not give a crap. But please put yourself in the person's shoes. Why would you do that? How would you feel, again, future you is married and you finally found the love of your life, whether you've been a cheater or not, and you finally have this marriage and it's maybe going badly right now, or maybe it's going great, and you have no idea that somebody is sleeping with your husband. Not only are they sleeping with your husband, but they're complaining about the treatment that they are receiving from this man who is fully married, and that you're not getting enough romance and attention and or whatever the case may be. And you find out about that as the wife. Maybe some of you guys don't care, but I don't relate to that. I don't relate to the side of, I'm not going to initiate it, but if something happens, I hope he cheats so that I can get away from him. I hope something happens so that we can get a divorce. I do not relate to that. I also don't understand that. If that's how you feel about your relationship and you're that miserable, please just end it. That's not what I believe in or stand for. I believe you should fight for it and make it work. You got married for a reason, but just put yourselves out of your misery. That is so horrible. That is so sad. You are wasting everybody's time. But it happens all the time, which is why I wanted to go on Dev's podcast, because maybe I can open someone's eyes who is doing this to their spouse or doing this to someone else's spouse. Maybe it can knock some fucking sense into you to stop. Put a stop to it. Maybe it will give someone perspective out there on how to help their friend who is in the same situation, and about how maybe you should tell them this isn't a good idea. You need to stop this now. And if you don't stop it, I'm going to find out who his wife is, and I'm going to reach out and I'm going to rat you out, because this woman deserves to know. Speaking of, the same day that I saw that post, I was snooping on a guy's Facebook whom I was dating a few months ago this year. I'm 33. He's 35. He might be 36 now. I don't know. But he was older, and I was like, oh my gosh, and he's so handsome, and he's a pilot, and he's this and he's that. And we were talking, and we were living it up and having the greatest time. And I was like, dude, I can just see myself. I'm very picky, but we look good together. He wants all the same things that I do. I just got out of a 13-year-long relationship. He just got out of a 7-year-long relationship. We've both been cheated on. We related on so many things, and I was like, oh my gosh, so you haven't dated since coming out of a 7-year-long relationship? And he was like, no. I was like, neither have I. This is weird. This is new. This is not fun. And we just hit it off so well. And I snooped, as you do when you're dating someone new. That's a song. It's not a song, but I should make it a song. And it looked like he wasn't out of said relationship, or maybe it was still like hanging by a thread or something. So I reached out to this girl multiple times, telling her and thinking in my head, I will not be the other woman. I will not be doing this. Can you please let me know? Are you in a relationship with Scott? Because if you are, oops, I said his name. Who cares? Scott, you piece of crap. So I reached out to her multiple. She would not open the messages. Oh crap! Hang on. Testing. So for weeks and months, she was not opening my messages. Like she hadn't accepted them in her requests. And I just kind of forgot about it or whatever. But then I saw that post on Facebook, and it just kind of like brought me back to that time of like I was trying to figure out if this guy was in a relationship or not, if he was lying to me, if he was using me for sex. Like literally we went on multiple dates. He got us a bed and breakfast one night, and we stayed at this cute little cabin overnight. We had so much fun. We were hiking. He was just very affectionate and like, I don't know, just like a lot of like what I wanted in a relationship. And the whole time I just kind of like, I don't know, just something, trust your gut, okay? Something I didn't say on Dev's podcast. Trust your gut, your instinct. But seeing that post on Facebook kind of brought me back to that whole feeling of like, oh, I never like was able to reach out to that girl, and I want to tell her like I was involved with possibly her boyfriend at a certain time, because it seems very serious. Like it's a 7-year long relationship. I would want to know. So I went onto his Facebook page and I kind of snooped. And the first thing I saw 4 days ago, happy birthday, so and so, to his girlfriend, the same girl that supposedly he had broken up with. And I'm like, oh my God, they are together. Or maybe they got back together, or they were together the whole time. Who knows? But it looked very much so like maybe there was a period in time where they like weren't talking to each other, but a lot of his stories didn't line up when he was working in Pennsylvania on the oil rig. I've heard from many people that that's a red flag if people work in the oil field, that a lot of times they are cheaters because they're traveling and working away from home for long periods of time, which is what he was doing. And he had told me that he had purchased a new house and he was fixing it up and he has chickens or whatever. Meanwhile, I'm like, I already looked at your stuff and I know that like she lives or lived there at some point. And he's like, oh, my friend is babysitting my dog when I go back home. And he would stop talking to me for periods of time. His phone would be off if I called him. And I was like, not pursuing him, but I was pushing to keep in communication with him, to have evidence for this girl that like he has been talking to me, and like here's the proof. So his stories just like didn't line up, and like, oh, his family is in from out of town and he's gonna go visit his friend who moved away, and they're like an hour from me, and I'm gonna go visit, and our dogs love each other, they like to hang out. I know he's talking about this girl. Their dogs love each other. They're very close. They go on trips together all the time. They lived together. She moved out recently, whatever. So I knew he was like still seeing her, but she would never respond to my messages. So I looked on Facebook, and recently he posted a birthday post celebrating her, and like just adorable pictures. Again, like literally everything that I would want in a relationship. I want my man to post happy birthday posts and cute pictures of me and him together and stuff. And I was like, oh shit, they've been together all this time. So I reached out to her again on Instagram, and this time I commented on her recent like photo. And I was like, hey, I'm so sorry to put this here. I will delete it as soon as you acknowledge my message, but I've been trying to reach you in your DMs. I think your boyfriend, Scott, has been cheating on you with me. I'm realizing that I think I was just being used for sex while he was working away from home, yada yada. Please message me. And a few minutes later, she finally opened my messages and read them, and she said, got any proof? And I was like, oh shit. So I hurried up and I went onto her post and I deleted that message, that comment, because I didn't want to like out this or embarrass her. So then I was like, yeah, I'm so sorry. It's been like months and months since I've been trying to get a hold of you. So I have since stopped talking to him like months ago. But I just wanted to let you know, because if I were in your position and you guys are in fact a couple, I would want someone to tell me, and I would want someone to be honest with me. But I don't know your timeline, if you guys broke up or whatever. Again, like, I am so sorry if I was involved in any way. I understand what it's like being on your end. You know, just like, I don't wish this on anyone, but like, I just need to be honest with you. And she was like, let's see the pics, please. And I was like, I don't know if you guys were together in the time that we were together, but like, have you been together this whole year? And she just kept saying, let's see the pics. And so like, I was trying to verify before sending her any screenshots, like if they've been together, and she wouldn't answer me. She wouldn't say, yes, we've been together this year. Can I see the pics? So I was like, I think she's just like kind of trying to see shit at this point. But I was like, yep, sure, no problem, I don't care, whatever, I'll send you the screenshots. So I sent her like 14 screenshots of photos that he was sending me, some provocative, some not, text messages, timestamps, and dropped pins on Apple Maps of when and where we were going to meet, yada yada. So and a screenshot of like his face and his phone number in my contacts, so that she knew like I'm not just making this up. And she was like, thanks for letting me know. Yeah, we broke up. I started seeing someone else, but we did get back together. And I was like, okay, great. That doesn't help me like verify whether or not I was helping someone's boyfriend cheat on his girlfriend. Like, so I still don't know the timestamp of things. And I did tell her in a message, I was like, normally I would ask for you to keep my name between us and not share my identity and how you found out this information. But I was like, honestly, if he's a cheater and he was lying on me, obviously he was using me because he dropped off the face of the earth at some point. If that's the case, then by all means, he should be ashamed of himself. He needs to like learn a lesson, which they never will. They're not going to learn a lesson. Don't try to teach somebody a lesson. I've learned the hard way. I was like, but I could care less if you let him know my name, because if he reaches out to me, I'll just be like, F you, like, you cheater, disgusting, you're a beautiful girlfriend, you're cheating on, like, you should be disgusted of yourself. So I told her I didn't care if she shared my information, and I was like, I just wanted to be honest with you and transparent, because I do not want to be involved. I did not want to be involved. I believed this man's story. I still don't know the situation, but I wish you all the luck in the world. And she was like, thank you so much for telling me. Like, I appreciate it. And I was like, from a woman to woman, I would just hope that somebody is going to do the same for me in the future. And if he does find out that I shared this information with you, maybe I hope he realizes that women are going to support each other, especially in instances like this. Like, that is my only hope, is that if something like this happens and you, even as an outsider's perspective, if your friend's like, oh, I'm cheating on my husband with my coworker and he has a wife, blah, 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 blah. Me as the friend, now going through what I've been through, trust me, I'm going to find out who that bitch is and I'm going to message her, because these people deserve to know that they are being lied to, used, manipulated, strung along. Like, it is such disgusting behavior. I was like, from a woman to a woman, I hope that in the future he will realize, if that is something that he did was cheat on you, that we're going to stick up for each other, and they maybe eventually will stop getting away with it. Maybe eventually they will learn their lesson, because they're like, dang, all these freaking hoes texting each other and I get caught every time. Yeah, you get caught every time, so stop. So I am just hoping, again, give somebody perspective on, like, maybe, I don't know, maybe some people will be like, oh, it's not my business, don't involve yourself, it's none of my business, it's not for me to worry about. I don't think so. I was involved in this. That is not my relationship. I was a third party, but I was involved. So I deserve not only closure and clarity on the situation, but she deserves the truth. She deserves to know. And if she's not going to get it from him or anywhere else, you're going to get it from me. So trust, if your man ever ends up in my DMs somehow and I found out he's being a pig, you going to find out too. That is just like literally how all of us women should be supporting each other. And if you disagree, then okay, cool, we disagree. I may or may not be judging you and your morals as a human being. Ew, for real. Like, if you know anything like that and you're just keeping it a secret and you're so worried to get involved and start drama, you don't need to start drama. She said, thank you. I said, you're welcome. Good luck. Have a good night. If you need anything else, please let me know. She hearted my message. I hearted hers. And that's it. She didn't need to block me. I honestly thought she was going to react like other girls who were dating my husband at the time. I thought she was going to react like mad, because a lot of people get defensive when people are being cheated on. Many women and men tend to get like, no, he would never. Who's this girl? She's such a liar. They stalk their social media. They block you. They ignore you. They, whatever the case may be. I think that is such immature and childish behavior. That is so stupid. We didn't need to have any further conversation. She didn't need to follow me. I didn't need to follow her. If she does, great, cool. Maybe I helped a girl out. Maybe I didn't. There should be no drama. I gave her the truth. I gave her the evidence that she asked for, and we parted ways. What she does now in her relationship is none of my business. If he reaches out to me, I'm going to put him in his place, maybe. Or I'm going to be like, go talk to your girlfriend. Stop talking to me. You pig. I just don't understand why people are nervous and scared. Like, you could even send someone a message and be like, hey, here's the proof. Here are the receipts. This is what's happening. This is my truth. I'm telling you this truth. I hope you believe it. I wish you the best. But here's evidence that such and such thing is happening. And then you can block them. Like, if you don't want to be bothered or you're scared about drama or whatever. I just don't understand this whole sweeping it under the rug thing. Because I would literally live the rest of my life in misery knowing that this girl found out later that Scott was cheating on her, and I did nothing about it. And she is feeling the way I did, literally to the point of like, I want to take my life because I didn't say anything. Like, literally, what is the harm in helping someone, saving someone's life and or relationship? Like, not that I'm like a savior or God or anything, but you know what I mean when I say that. It's just wild behavior. And those those comments that I saw on that Facebook post, just my flabbers be gasted. My flabbers be gasted. Let me catch one of my girlfriends ever telling me some stupid shit like that. You are grown. You should know better. Oh my Lanta. But that's just my 2 cents on that situation. As far as my episode with Dev, one thing that I forgot to point out that brought me to the brink of maybe I should stop trying with this man. What am I doing? I'm going crazy. And that also spun me into a worse spiral I've ever been spun into was when I was on the phone with John one time. And I was probably crying and asking whys and looking for answers and yada yada. And we were at this point trying to work on our marriage, or supposedly working on it. And he was very much so giving me all kinds of signs of hope for the future. Even if like we took, 5 years away from each other and started fresh, which he mentioned many times that he wanted to do. Like, we just need time away. We need space. We need to completely rip the foundation of our relationship apart to start completely fresh. So, I'm 1,000,000% in, and this is all me, and I'm healed, and I want it because I want it, not because I'm being forced into. I was like, okay, that makes sense. Like, sure, yeah. And this is where I thought we were at in the relationship, was there was hope for my relationship with my best friend in the entire fucking world, my husband, my soulmate, my twin flame, whatever you want to call it. Like, he was my everything, my world. And in this point of my marriage, he's in South Carolina, I'm in Indiana, in front of my mom's house, parked in my camper, after just having got back from buying the camper in South Carolina, after having seen him in South Carolina and going on a date with him and seeing the sunset with him at the ocean and all these things on the phone. I was, like I said, probably crying, screaming, why, whatever, asking stupid, annoying questions. And he he screamed from the top of his lungs. And I will never forget this. I don't know how I survived, like, literally even just hearing this sentence from this person. I'm not going to scream it like he screamed it, but imagine a man screaming at you over the phone. Why the fuck are you fighting so hard for someone who doesn't fucking want you? And then I said, bye, puta. I would end the episode on that, but that's a little bit dramatic. Oh my god. Of course I had to fucking say a joke after that traumatizing sentence that I just repeated to you. But that's how I cope with humor. Embarrassingly, I still tried for like another year, maybe 2 years after that, hearing that sentence. But that was gut-wrenching. That destroyed me in many, many ways. This was a person that I gave my whole life, my whole heart to. That's still as shitty of a person as he became. Nobody compares to that love that I had with him. Nobody's ever gonna compare to that, and I hope one day I do find something better. But like I said on Dev's episode, I am not completely through my healing. I'm still working on it. I am single again, and my recent relationship with a boyfriend I had in Pennsylvania is now across the country in Oregon, and we're really good friends. We stay in contact, we game together and stuff like that. But like, I'm getting like no hope in that relationship either, and maybe it's a tie I need to cut, but I just do not know how to navigate this dating world. I have a lot of crazy stories, and I'm getting older. In March, I will be 34 years old. I think all hopes and dreams of me having a family, children, is like out the window because I don't want to bear children in my late 30s, early 40s. It's not anything I ever wanted. Maybe that dream will change. I don't know. But I just like I said, I'm not through it. But there is so much more that goes into this whole grieving process and this journey with divorce and experiences that I've been through. And I am in a better place now where I'm open and vulnerable to share that with you guys. If you guys have any questions, or if anybody is curious or maybe wants an episode on actual divorce and like the process of that and what that's like going through, like that was a whole other side of the story that I completely forgot to touch on in Dev's episode, was like what we went through like in the courtroom alone. That experience of being in court through my divorce with John, again, so traumatizing. Like, I literally don't know how I'm here. And after hearing that sentence out of his mouth, I don't know why I didn't throw my phone in a river and never pick it up, change my number, block him. Like, that is so horrifically horrible, disgusting, and damaging to say to someone that you supposedly love. He still says he loves me. He loved me for 13 years. That person does not love me. Like, you are so fucked up. And I have been here all this time trying to help you and save you and salvage our marriage and our relationship and this friendship that, in my eyes, clearly means a lot to both of us because he still wants to talk to me on the phone as friends. I'm here trying to help you and love you, and that's what you're going to say to me? Why the fuck are you fighting so hard for someone who doesn't fucking want you? Guys, work on your mental health. Take care of yourself, see a therapist, get on medication, whatever the hell it is you need to do. Go on a walk, get a dog, get some friends, do a good deed for a homeless person or somebody working at the register at a grocery store, something, because if you are saying that type of thing to someone who fucking loves you to death, there's something wrong with you. You are not well. I know we all say things in the heat of the moment and stuff like that, but there was something that was like so surreal, so honest coming out of his mouth about that just, honestly, I'm gonna probably carry it with me till the day I die. Like, I don't know how I ever unhear those words on top of your body just got old to me. It wasn't better. It was just different. I wanted to try something new. Like, hearing those things, having dreams about these things being said to you, nightmares, reliving it, driving in the car, even when I drive in silence, like literally those words just like repeat in the back of my mind. And I'm such a fighter and such a lover and such a hopeless romantic that I want to give myself like that to someone again. And that makes me not want to. Like, who the hell deserves that from me again? For 13 years later, them to turn around and say, why the fuck are you fighting for me so hard? I don't fucking want you. Like, that is traumatizing. And I think that's why in the beginning of the episode, I say that that was the worst trauma I've ever been through, because it wasn't from someone who has a sickness in their head that they molest little children. It wasn't from someone who was abused as a child by their parents, so that's all they know and they turn to abuse with their kids. It was from someone who knew all of that and worse about me and more, and loved me through it, supported me through it, married me through it, lived with me through it, grew up with me all through our teenage, childhood years and young adult life, and was there to protect me and love me. And the last line I will never forget, I can see my mom's face repeating that the best part of our wedding day to her was she knew that I was such a lonely child, such a lonely person, and that was my only thing I ever wanted in this world was love and to not be alone. And the last line of his wedding vows was, and I promise to you for the rest of my life that you will never be alone. I promise to never make you feel alone, is what he said to me many, many times. And here we are. More alone than I ever felt. That's wild. That's why it hurt me so much, because it was that person who decided to destroy me and my life and my future in this way. I'm in control of my future, yes, but I am also grieving a dream. Like, my dream life is done. It's gone. It's vanished. Like, everybody's like, oh, you can make a new dream life. Oh, it's still there. It's just gonna be with someone else. No, it's gone. It's done. I was put through this horrific part of life with infidelity and betrayal, distrust, dishonesty, lies, deceit, evil. I was put through this already by the person who was supposed to love me the most. And I'm 34 years old almost. And by now I'm supposed to have 1 or 2 kids. And I was supposed to be living in my beautiful house that I was fixing up. And I wasn't supposed to be homeless and living in a car and traveling lonely in the road, risking my life every day, debating whether or not I was going to kill myself that night. Like I've already been put through the ringer, been put through the worst. My dream life is done. It's gone. It's over. There's maybe a different dream that I have now, sure. But it's very, very different. And I'm grieving that life that I once craved and wanted so badly. And now I almost don't want anything to do with it. I don't know how I'm supposed to trust someone. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this. Like, that dream is gone. And what sucks the most is that his can still continue. He got everything he wanted. He got to sleep with someone at work. He got to have sex, even though he said, I'm too tired and I'm too stressed out and I don't want to have sex. And he was neglecting me at home, but he was still getting what he wanted at work on his lunch break with a tramp. And then he moved to South Carolina, in a beautiful place. We always dreamed of moving away, and we didn't because of family being in Indiana, and we were scared or whatever, but we never took that leap of faith. And he moved to a place that I had dreamed of previously living in. He's in freaking Charleston, for God's sakes. He gets to be there. And then he jumped right into a relationship right away while we're married with a girl that he's still with. And he's living in her house with her. And they bought him a car. And they buy him groceries, and they pay for trips to Italy. He's literally been to Italy with her family. Oh, happy hunky-dory. Like, he's literally getting everything he wants. Oh, but he has to live with the grief and the pain and the self-hatred and the shame of doing what he did to you. Big fucking whoop. He should fucking live with that forever. Living his life. And I'm alone, and I'm grieving, and I'm single, and I'm in this disgusting dating world, trying to figure out, not only starting from scratch, but where I'm supposed to go from here, because my dream life that was, in my eyes, going perfectly the way that I wanted was destroyed. And I don't want to sound like I'm throwing a pity party or being a victim or whatever, but I know that there are people out there that will relate to this, which is why I'm saying all of it. And it infuriates me. I'm not going to lie. Like, that's just a part of the grieving process, is you're going to feel anger. You're going to mourn this and grieve it possibly forever. I feel like I'm going to be grieving this forever. Even if I end up happy in 2 years with a man of my dreams who treats me a million times better than John ever did, and I have a baby and blah, blah, you think a part of me is not going to look at my future child one day and be like, shed a little tear. This was supposed to be me and John. Oh my God, this is crazy. This was going to be my life 5 years ago with John. Like, there's a part of me that's always going to look back at that and be like, dude, this was not my life. This was not how it was supposed to be. And it's so much better, and I'm happy and I'm grateful for it, and I've healed, and maybe I don't miss that person and stuff anymore, but I'm always going to think about it. I'm always going to carry it. So it's just the realistic truth of, on my end of things, in my situation, how things went and how they're going. And I only want to bring, I don't even want to say hope, because I feel like that would be hypocritical of me. Dev and I talked about that after my episode, and she was like, I can't tell you that there's hope because I don't know, I don't see it, I don't feel it. Like, she's kind of in the same place as I am. I don't know if she kept that in the episode, that conversation that we had, but like, I want to say I want to give someone hope out there, but like, it's not even hope that I'm trying to spread, because that's just being hypocritical of me. I don't walk around and be like, but there's hope. No, everything's gonna be fine. Everything happens for a reason. That is such bullshit. No, it doesn't. Me being molested as a little girl did not happen for a reason. I hate when people say that. Me being freaking beat up as a child did not happen for a reason. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. No, I'm not giving you this false hope. It does sound very cliche of me to say I just want people to feel like they're not alone, because I say that all the time. Everybody says that. But like, from the most genuine pit in my heart, I want this to reach someone who is going through what I went through, or something similar, or something even completely opposite, but you have the same emotions. And for you to feel like, dude, I'm not alone. Not to be cliche, I feel fucking seen. Dude, there is somebody out there that is feeling this way. I thought I was the only one. No, honey. Honey boo boo, you're not the only one. I promise you. Your situation is so different from mine, but you're not the only one. I promise. And if there is part of you that like needs help, and you are trying to call it quits and you don't want to be here, I understand. I feel you. And it is the worst place to be in the entire world. And again, I kind of wish it on them, but I don't wish for anybody to feel like that in the entire world. I don't wish that upon my worst enemy, but I kind of do sometimes, being real. But you know what I'm saying? I'm just joking. Dear God. I don't know. I like to have conversations about these things, and again, there's so much that I missed on Dev's episode, so I will touch on it again in a future episode. Good thing is, coming up here to land on a more positive topic, I have 1, 2, 3, possibly 4 guests lined up to be on the podcast with me, some of them virtually and some of them in person, and I'm really excited, and I'm trying so hard to get my best friend Shelly in Houston to be on the episode with me. Honestly, I would love for her to like co-host with me. I would love for it to be like a thing that her and I do together all the time, even though she's in Houston. We can do it on Zoom or Riverside, the app that I use for podcasting. I just want to have fun with this. I want to relate to people. I want to get real. I want to get deep. I want to make friends. I want to bring false hope. I'm just kidding. I want to bring, see, I don't even want to say positivity, because I'm not like that. I've said this before in the past. I'm a positive pessimist. I'm not really a negative person. I am a dweller. I'm a dweller. That's the word. Scott told me I was a dweller. He actually did. Actually, it was in one of the screenshots that I sent to her. He was like, we both relate. We dwell. We're dwelling in our past. He called me a dweller, and that's what I am. I'm sorry. I can't help it. But you know what I mean by when I say I want to spread positivity and just laughs and humor and a good time and talk about these things that everybody is going through, that hardly anybody likes to talk about. I don't know why, but we're talking about it here. So if these are the kind of conversations that you like having, please come back. Don't forget, just hit that follow button. It is free to do. I don't have ads on this podcast right now anymore. I don't think they're coming anytime soon. I want this all to be free and enjoyable for you. And it is free 99 to just hit the follow button. And that helps me immensely. It'll literally make me cry happy tears of joy in the bathtub. Hopefully the water heater has heated up enough so that I can take a freaking bath. It's been literally probably over a year since I've had a bath, and I'm so freaking excited. If that water isn't scalding hot, I'm gonna have really bad intrusive thoughts again. But thanks for being here. Thanks for listening to me ramble. Please snitch on people who are cheating on their husbands. Please stop seeing that married man or woman that you are sleeping with, because I am judging you through this phone. Okay? And if you don't want me to judge you, then stop. That's all I have to say. And everybody, drink your water. Ew. I had a frog in my throat while I said that. Ew. Everyone grab your cups. This is the... I'm going to share a little clip here of Shelly and I testing the audio for a future a future episode. We recorded a couple minutes. Actually, we were on the phone for a really long time, and I was recording a lot of it. But I'm going to share a little clip right here that has to do with this water bottle. It is not a Stanley, and it was not $150. So enjoy this clip here.
That's all you need for this podcast, okay? I was at work at U-Haul, and I had the cup on the desk, and some lady came in with big red bows on her eyelashes.
Oh my god.
She had big ass fake fucking eyelashes with big red bows. And
Why?
like her like hair done up and her lipstick and her nails like clackety clack. And she looks at me, she goes, "You telling me you pay $150 fucking for that cup?"
You're like, I'll
I
sell it
was like,
right now so that you can go get your lashes and your nails
I
done.
was like, first of all, lady, trying to whip out her cash from her wallet after stripping all night to pay for her fucking U-Haul truck to haul her drugs
Oh my
around
god.
Pennsylvania. Second of all, I was like, no, honey boo boo, that's from Walmart. It was $20. And she was like, oh, I thought that was that fucking Stanley, and people was paying all that money for a damn cup. And I'm like, don't even get me started on your fucking red bows on your eyelashes.
You're like, how much you pay for them red bows? Where can I get some of those? I like to get me some of them.
I'm so mad at myself. Why didn't I say anything?
You should have asked her, where the fuck did you get those things?
How much did you pay for them red bows?
Was that an Amazon Prime deal, or did you get that at a local shop?
But drink your water. Stay hydrogenated. It is so good for your body. Water is life. That's why I'm about to get in this hot tub. So I need to shut up and get off of here. Drink your water. And most importantly, don't forget to love yourself. Thanks, guys. Love you. Until next time. And then I said bye, puta.
So do do do.